Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Paradise. No, I was kidding. Welcome to this podcast.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which, is in heaven and it's in hell. It's hot, it's cold, it's smuggy, it's sweaty, it's freezing, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Yay!
Yay! So, just in case you guys didn't know, because we didn't say it, this podcast is called Docu Sweeties.
I mean, listen, how are you even here? If you don't
Uh,
know us,
from the
if you
mothers,
don't know, now you know.
baby. We're talking 90 Day Love in Paradise, season 4, episode 3. Who knows what the title is? But we'll tell you later. You know why you're here. Okay, so listen, I gonna call a couple of things. One, she says, Madeline says that he has a big penis. However, unintentionally, and so did half of America, national television, we saw like a little bit of a reflection of his peen, and it didn't seem that way. So he is indeed a grower.
I just don't know how much sexual experience she's had. She's like 2 years old. So, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. She says that. Let's just start with them. Okay, so we start off and
Luke and Madeline.
Luke and Madeline. So we start off and she's really excited to show him her business, which is called Mede. Like the way she says it, I'm like, what are you even saying, my good friend?
Yeah.
But it looks so cute. And when they got the B-roll of it, it was popping. But then when she told us about the actual business, it's not popping.
No, I knew the business wasn't popping. When she said that she was a smart businesswoman, I was like, I'll be the judge of that. Now he's like, I just love being with her. You smell like a wildflower. And I was like, oh, what perfume do you use? I'm like,
Body
what
spray?
was,
There's just some kind of like
yeah,
body spray on. Is it like Victoria's
wildflower was so
Secret?
interesting. Not gardenia,
Yeah.
wildflower, like a poppy, honey, like a weed on the side.
Just
But
like, yeah.
yeah, she has created a salon where you can get your nails done and I mean claws and eyelashes or whatever. And you can't be like a good businesswoman and say that to me and then say that you also never even Googled how to spell the words that you want to make the title of your business, which is Made Beauty, except that she spells beauty bananas. And I'm not saying, listen, why not just do it in the language you like then? I mean, I'm not saying you have to speak English, but I mean, you're not a smart businesswoman if you're going to make a thing in English and it's not even English. I mean, that's the God's honest fucking truth.
But the truth is that she says that she knows that. I think she was just trying to be different. But the problem is that no one's going to be able to look that up because it's not spelled correctly. So it's like, but think about it. I
You
don't know.
believe
Here's
it?
no,
You believe that
but
she would?
I do. One, two. Here's another thing, Chris. Like, I don't. People do interesting things with English in other countries. I went to Japan and there were shirts that were written in English that made no sense. It's like that is why after I came back from Japan, I knew that every tattoo that someone not Chinese got in Chinese letters said something crazy. I know it did.
Yeah.
I know it didn't make no sense. So it's like that to me was like what she's doing. It's like it doesn't have to be spelled correctly because she's not in a place where people could even read English. So they were just probably like, oh, look at that interesting thing. Now, my problem is that it looks like it's the size of a shoebox. So while you're getting your eyelashes done, there is like toenail clippings just like jumping from one side of the salon to the other side. It's too many services and no privacy. It's only 2 seats to get your nails done. So like, I get that you could be busy, but that means you don't take walk-ins. That means it's by appointment only, which means that you have to do a lot of like Facebook and like Instagram work to get people to sign up and book with your stylists or your nail techs and your lash techs and whatever else other service you provide. I think she provides waxing too. So I mean, unless she's in an area where she's able to just like build up and drum up serve these customers from scratch, that's the problem. But she really thought she was just going to have this fun little job and tell all her friends on Instagram, look at my business. And it was going to be able to last for however long she wanted it to last because her boyfriend was bankrolling it. So they get there and he immediately comes clean to her. And she has a reaction of frustration because it's been a month. But then she like quickly hops over the thing and gets into his lap and is like, oh, baby, I love you. It's okay. I'm there for you because I love you. So
Yeah. No, listen, I'll give her one grace. It's great that she got some dumb schlep to like fund a business for her so that she can have a business at 20 nothing. Now, at the same time, she'll learn some lessons like spell check, but also that y- you're not a great business person because you decide to start a business, especially if it's not doing that well, and the only reason why it's happening is because your poontang has like suckered some poor schlop to give you money every month so that it's not failing. Like
Mhm.
that's just, I mean, that's not, your business is shit. Now, I'm not saying that it can't get better from here, but I mean, I agree because when she showed that man around her small business and he's like, "What's this?" And my mind was like, "Where you wait for your service?" And she's like, "No, the eyelash station." I'm like, "It's right by the door." Where, you mean
Mhm.
that seat that you showed me is where people wait to get into the other chairs. Like it is very, very small. And so
Mhm.
basically he puts down the numbers for us. He's like, I already gave you 10. I have no money left. In order to be profitable, she has to make around $700 a month, which that was wild to me. I was like, who are you paying and whatever. God bless. And then basically she's like, well, I would need 90 patrons. In order to have that and a month in order for the to be profitable, and right now I have 20 different transactions for 1 month is not a lot.
Mhm.
That means
Mhm.
days go by with no one.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, so she said that she's annoyed that he's asking questions. Now I'll tell you this, when he says that he's lost her job, her reaction seems like she already knew, because like there's hardly, how to say this, like, I was this the episode where I talked about my acting teacher who would make me like be like your mind blown moment.
That was last
Okay.
episode.
Okay, well, here we are. So like, yeah, I it's so funny because I see this now. It's like when you watch actors who are like doing a script, you can tell when they know what's happening next and they haven't really listened to that moment because they just keep it going and there's not really a reaction. So again, I used to have this acting teacher that would just be like, then your brain stops. And like it was supposed to be, you'd be like, what? Like, like you would have to marinate and salivate, or you'd have to like take in what the person is and really let it affect you. And like she's like, okay, well, that's me. She was just like, what did you tell me? And it's like, that's not your first reaction. Your first reaction when you think that you're like on top of the world as a great businesswoman, and then someone says you don't have the money, is usually a lot more upset or a lot more sad. But instead, it's not. I'm happy that she's driving him around. But then, yes, we get to the house. And again, this is like the luxe apartment that he's paying for it. We're now like, well, how much is this apartment? Because you definitely can't afford this anymore. And then we get to their sex talk, which, yes, this is where she's like, he has a big dick. And we're like, no, he doesn't. We saw it. And then he's like, it's the best sex. She's the best lover of my life. And I'm like, she's too. And then she's tries to tell us, I think, that he made her squirt.
Oh, is that what they were saying? Girl, I had no idea. I
I
was
have to
like,
think that. What did you think?
I had no imagination for what it could be. I had no idea. None at all. I to me, it's like she was a virgin, right? Like they were each other. What I took from that is that he's her first. She's 19. She's not 20. She's 19. He's her first. And and then they're like, I just would they if they had gave me a little emoji or something on the screen, I would have known. I had no idea. I have to rewatch it because I don't know.
Yeah, like she's like, he was the first man to make me. And then they like exit out, and the producer's like, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
And the confessor's like, "He's the first man to make me." Scream." I was like, "It's just what could that word be?" To me, it was squirt. So this
Oh.
is the unforgivable part, and we've all been there. But let me tell you this: don't be this person. Take stickers off the bottoms of your shoes. Take if you but wherever you can buy it at Payless, you can buy it at TJ Maxx, and there's going to be a compare sticker from where you could have bought it or whatever, or the size sticker, whatever the fuck it is. Take every sticker off of your shoe. Nothing to me looks crazier than stickers in the bottoms of their shoes. And on reality shows, you see it a lot. My favorite place to see stickers are tell-alls. Tell-alls reunions, like in Bravo, when you see like a sticker on a foot. I think like was it Kyle Richards or something once had that? Anyway, God bless. But she has a sticker on this like horseshoe she has that he's so happy to like. I mean, I don't know. They're gross. That's how I feel about them.
The last shoe that I had stickers on the bottom of were my pleasers, and the teacher told me to take them off of them because when you're like trying to dance in those kind of shoes, the sticker, it doesn't have grip. And so, but I was like, I have not had a shoe with a sticker in a while. I mean, not to dust the dirt off my shoulders, but it's been a minute. And so when you said stickers on the bottom of the shoe, I was like, was she wearing pleasers? So that's what happened in my brain.
I know, but when you go to TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you
Yeah,
often get stickers on the
it
bottom of
it's been a
shoes.
while. It's been a while. Yeah.
I love those places to buy some
No.
shoes.
It's just been a while for me. I just because I, have that discount to that place, so I go to that place. So
Shh, don't you fucking tell anyone.
that's why, yeah. So let's move on to Annie and Kyle. Oh my God. To me, Annie is such a fool, a foolish fool. And she looked really good sitting on those sand dunes with him. So I thought that's when she looked the best. But after that, it's just like she looked. I was like, okay, I see what Chris is saying, and then they cut to her confessional. I was like, no. So we start off with them meeting, and they have like what looks like coffee at this beautiful like outdoor terrace cafe situation, and he walks up, and immediately I'm upset because how could any grown woman deal with this? How could any grown woman deal with this? Look what he's wearing. He's wearing some kind of not white, not pink, not salmon shirt with red shorts that are too small because he's gained weight or something. And then black shoes with black socks. And then this is the hug that she gets. Like it's a pat on the back hug. Then he sits down and he tries to pull his pants up, but they're too small.
Yes.
And so he sits down and he's got plumber's crack.
Yes, he does.
She should be embarrassed.
Yes. Oh, I think so too. She should be horrified.
Embarrassed. Like she hasn't she's like he's kind of weird, but I don't like normal. I like things that are so weird and uncomfortable because you never know what you're gonna get, and we have 7 months of getting to know each other, so I think I want to give this a chance. And I said, when he showed up dressed like that for dinner and then told you about the point system again at dinner and now asks you what you're drinking in your coffee to give more points, throw that whole... I'm just in such a phase of my life, and it just happened. Okay, the phase just happened. I'm not going to go to anyone's home anymore for after 10 friend fun. You're coming to my house. Let me tell you why. Because I'm more comfortable at my house. I'm more likely to have an orgasm because I'm more comfortable at my house.
After 10 friend? Okay, didn't know what you like. Literally, just been repeating that over and over. Like, what the fuck that person just say to me? You won't fuck. Okay, you're trying to be. You don't want to have sex with anyone except that's at your house. Is what you're saying to me?
Yeah, unless it's super convenient for me, because the chances of me having an orgasm in your space is very low because of smells, and it's not bad smells. It's just not mine. It's just not my like space because of I'm gonna look at your mismatch bedding and be like, I'm gonna go into your bathroom and notice that like I peek in the shower when I go into someone's home and they've got their shower curtain fully closed in a tub. Dirty. Great. Can't, and I look at the counter and it's dirt. Like I can't do it. I cannot do it with these men. I cannot
Literally,
do it.
she cannot do it.
I can't. So then I'm like, and then I have to drive to your place and it takes me at least 20 minutes to get home. Maybe if you lived 10 minutes away, I could, but like 20 minutes to get home, if not more. And then I don't even orgasm. It's not even a comfortable place. Like I need to be in a comfortable, I'm telling you, that last person I dated really just changed the game for me. Like this person, I dated somebody who had a whole home with a pool. And you know that person would let me do? I took time off of work and he said, you know what? If you want to go swimming in my pool, you can. I'll give you the code to my front door and I will let you in from work. And then you could go in the backyard and swim. I can't come back from that. I can't come back from that. That man had matching sheets. That man had a clean bathroom whenever I got there, food in the refrigerator, drinks ready. sparkling water because he knew I liked it. I cannot towels ready if I'm like, oh, I need a towel. Here's a towel. Not a weird big ass towel because he doesn't have any washcloths. Like I can't do it anymore with these men and their shit not being what I want. So I have to be at home. And I won't deal with it. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
If
No.
you want me to come over, you have to come here. Oh, you're not going to come here? Okay, all the best. Find somebody else. Bye. Anyways, so that's where I'm at right now. And so for me to see this grown seasoned woman with a child put up with this man
Hmm.
touching his balls in the next scene, I can't do it.
I completely get it. Like he is, but he's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy for him to be like, you can't have sugar in your coffee. I don't understand why she can't do things that he thinks lowers his sperm count. Her having sugar is not going to lower your sperm count, and it's also not going to, guess what, lower her egg count because we've been having the same fucking eggs. So like that's on you, and that's something you deal with, and we don't have to fucking deal with that. We can have sugar. Now, then he gets up and he's like, I'm going to hold your hand because I'm such a gentleman, and I was like, no, you're gonna nope. You showed up with those shorts again, and she's already been telling you she hates those shorts. And then look at the same shorts from last night. I can't even look at you. So then she's like, I planned this great situation, and I feel like the sun is coming down on me like goddamn God's light. I don't mind it. I'm like, huh. Anyway, they're gonna go to this beautiful island. Another island. Malta's an island. They're like, we have even a better island. Don't you worry about it. It's called Kozo. And we're gonna like take a ferry to Kozo, and then we'll jeep around to see the views. And this is where, in this jeep, they're sitting in the back, and she's like, "Okay, well, he literally keeps touching his fucking balls. I mean, he is touching and adjusting his balls, and then using that hand to graze her thigh, and it is, it's." First of all, it's almost like an OCD thing, like he does it a lot, and she calls him out on it, and he never, every time he does something horrible and she does call him out on it, it's so funny. He has just like an answer for it, and it's not a problem. Like in his mind, he's like, yeah, it's because of this isn't, and I can't get my balls too hot, so I won't be changing. It's just like, it's wild, I guess, his like ego. There's something very audacious about him, or like, entitled, because for all of us, we're like, buddy, you're very fucking eccentric. So if you don't even want to be in a relationship for the rest of your life, and you're calling us to like give a bunch of babies to this world, then fine. But if you at all want an interpersonal relationship with another human being, and again, you can wait for robots, not a problem. But if you do want like an actual physical being to be with, I mean, you're going to have to wake up to how fucking eccentric you are. Like, I think that if you're on a spectrum, it can be like such a really lovely situation where you have like other abilities and stuff like that. But at the same time, we all have to do work from our own trauma or the way that we communicate in order to better understand how we fail in making others comfortable around us or able to be vulnerable or open up to us. And I think we all have certain things that we do, and this gentleman has a lot. And so it's, to me, and I think you, wild that Annie would even devote this amount of time to this situation. And I can't imagine many other women have even given him this much time. So even in that, I'm like, does he go home at night like, shit, I fucked it up with Annie by wearing these shorts. You know what? I'll try and be better next time. Or let me see how I can make this lovely, beautiful woman who somehow wants to keep spending time with me, wanting to spend time with me. But none of that's there.
Have you ever been around men who are consistently adjusting themselves in front of you?
I have been, but like not to the most gross degree that I saw this, but I have seen a lot of, I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it happened. It's happened to me recently. And it is very interesting how they don't know that they're doing it, because if I'm talking to somebody and then I'm like, yeah, so then I was like, and I just like adjust my my boobie and my bra, like, and I just kept doing this, like not like, but like fully, like this, or like if I just kept being like, if you're on patreon.com/DocuSqueeze, you could see if I just like did this, or if I just kept like putting my t-shirt just underneath the boob to catch the boob sweat, like how many times as so many times have I been around a guy doing a plie basically, or some kind of like little dip in order to remove the ball from sticking to their upper thigh, I think. And I think, what kind of underwear are you wearing? Maybe you should consider shaving your balls or removing the hair. So, but shouldn't the hair actually stop the sticking? Like, so it's just so many different things that I'm like, oh, are you shaved? You must be shaved. And so okay, so that's why it's, but there is also in Target, they have a whole section just for men. Okay, the bottles of the Dove are different. It's just like, and they have ball paste in there. And what it is, ball balm. You could like put ball balm on your nether regions before you go out into public, especially if you go out into my space. And you then are adjusting yourself consistently within a 20-minute conversation. I have seen you touch and move and adjust multiple times, three times. And I'm like, how? I just have to sit here and look at this. And at some point, I'm like, I feel like this is sexual harassment. It's you are doing it unconsciously, but it is making me very uncomfortable. And that is the end of my rant, because it's when I saw that, it was very triggering for me. So they get to some like dunes, or I don't know, some place where there's bound to be
Tide
crustaceans.
pools?
Yeah, there's crustaceans, there's frogs, there's things in that space. And she gets him to admit that he had sex with a woman in Australia, and she already knows the answer to it, and he doesn't want to give her the answer. In fact, he's like, I don't remember what I did in Australia. I blacked out. And I said, wrong answer. The fact that he would even do that means that he's an idiot. And the fact that she just didn't get up when he said, I don't remember, and leave.
Yep. I would have laughed in his. I think that I would have like. I can't imagine just asking a grown ass person, "Did you have sex with anyone while on vacation?" And they look at me and say, "I don't remember." I literally would be like,
"Oh, I can't be with somebody who doesn't remember." So,
are you okay, buddy? What do you mean you don't fucking remember? Or do you have amnesia? Do you have dementia? That doesn't make fucking sense. You don't remember when you just. I'm sorry, because we know the whole point system. You don't even fucking drink alcohol, so we obviously know this is in a situation where you got so fucked up that you don't remember. So for you, like, did someone hit you on the head, buddy? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Someone hit you on the head, buddy? You woke up in a hospital and you don't remember your last name? I'm sorry. Is that what you're trying to tell me right now? I mean, what are you trying to fucking? What do you think as a grown-ass human with a brain, is going to accept right now? How much respect do you have for my intellect right goddamn now? I'll wait. Like, that's what it is to me, like you're right. Annie is insane.
Yeah. And she's like, I think I deserve to know what is happening so that I can make a decision for me. And then he says yes, and she's like, well, now I have to think about this, because I don't want you doing that. If we are going to be in a relationship, you have to stop doing that. And he's like, I don't see anything wrong with it. And she's like, great, I got that. But what I'm saying is that you cannot do that if we're together. And he's just like, does not compute. I don't understand what she's saying. Like, he's like, yeah. And so she's not even making it fun for us. Like, at least insult him a little bit. At least do something to let us know that she knows what's going on, as opposed to just being hurt or upset. Yes. Girl, 7 months of online dating someone who told you that he was a digital nomad, who bounces around from country to country for free, fucking women to get them pregnant. Like, to me, if he was making money out of it, I would be okay with it, because he's making money to give me and to give to me and my son. But the fact that the man comes with no money and the same pair of clothes, only one backpack,
and two sweaty balls.
And he comes and tells you, I'm going to hold your hand because I'm a gentleman. And that's a good girl. Yeah, I'll give you points. There's just so much that is comical of it that I would just have to make fun of him the whole time. And she's not doing that. She's not doing it.
She's
Mm-mm.
called him out, and that's the one thing she's done, but not in any sort of yes, I completely agree with you. And also, do you think that Jibri watched him and was like, I'm gonna fucking do what this guy does?
But the thing is, so he's not making money, Chris. Like he's not making money. You know what I mean? Like he should. They should at least be paying for his travel. Like I'm not saying he has to charge them because it would be illegal, right? So maybe he can't admit that he's actually making money
Mm-hmm.
because it would be
Mm-hmm.
illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what's going on. But like I would need to know that he's making money and then I would be okay with it because the truth is it's like all it is him having an open relationship or like whatever. So if you going out and getting somebody pregnant, like I would be like, "Hey, it's going to cost you $2,000 for my services." And that is a cheap price to pay for a woman who wants to get pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, listen, his whole thing is I just fuck them and I save them a lot of money. They don't got to go through IVF. They don't got to get this dish, this peat. You don't got to do anything,
Yeah.
like, so it's so funny because this conversation where we're at an impasse of over sexuality actually happens in the next scene too, or the next couple too,
Yeah.
where something very obviously is like the crux of this relationship. And then they just decide in conversation, well, we'll just not really deal with it. Just like, mm,
That is so crazy with Alex and Adriano. Like
yes.
they're not going to work. And I don't even
Nope.
think he's that hot. So that's another thing too. I don't think he's that hot. So for like I'm not I'm not invested in her at all. They have like a storybook kiss at some point and I'm like, "Why don't you wrap your legs around him?" But it's because her dress is so short that
Yes.
maybe she has a thong on and she can and if she did, her whole ass would be out.
Yes, that's exactly what
So,
happens. She's wearing a
yes.
tennis skirt. She's pulling it down as he can't even hug her without her being like, yeah.
Yeah. So they really like each other. They have like great sexual chemistry.
Mhm.
He is from Italy, but apparently he spent a lot of time in Australia doing his bodybuilding. And I wish he would say like what state or province in Australia because Australia is a big ass country. So like where were you in Melbourne? So like he's like I like being there better because it's less conservative it's less conservative than Italy and it's because Italians are not going to pay him to help them get fit. They're like, no, no, no. Wine and pasta is who we are, and we are fine. We're fine. We don't need you. And I said, okay, I'm here for that. But why Australia? And also, then he's going to ask her to go to Australia. So there's two things it's the threesomes and it's Australia. If I were her as a black woman, I don't want to go to Australia at all.
You don't?
There's no black people there. I mean, there are the Aborigines, right? And then there's like the fucking African immigrants who've gone there, but like it's one of those places like America where England just shipped people there, except for
Mhm.
England shipped people there. So there's just
Convicts.
a lot of white people, and there's no one there. The
The worst of
indigenous
the
black
Britain.
people, they
Yeah.
like or the indigenous people, which I don't know if indigenous folk of if the Aborigines consider themselves black or not. Some of them are very dark skinned, but like there's just who is there for me? Who is there for me? So maybe there are like groups of black people, expat Americans or what the fuck ever. But what I'm saying is, it's like being half African American, being African American as I fucking am, I just can't imagine going to a place. I'm gonna be honest with you. When we went to London and I was like, "Hey, where are the black spots?" and the black people were like, "Oh, what you want, African or this?" and I realized I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys are not like indigenous. You're not like from here. Like y'all came here in the 40s." So I don't want to be there either. I need to be around black people who came to whatever country because of slave trade. Those are the black people I need to be around, be it Belize, be it Brazil, be it wherever. So if there's no black people who got there because of the slave trade, I don't want to go.
I get what you're saying. She doesn't want to go either. Her thing is that it's too far away from her family. I'm like, well, Italy's not that close, but okay, come on.
But does it take 24 hours to get to Italy
You're
or
right.
12 hours or what the fuck ever?
He doesn't feel like he loves her. He thinks that she's hot and they have
Mhm.
like a connection. And what unfortunately he let slide, which I kind of thought was that early on in their relationship, she was like, threesomes, yeah, love threesomes. Yeah. I mean, I've done them and into them. And then later on, she's like, you know, I don't want to do them anymore. And
Yeah.
she has that right, obviously. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, she has to like keep with the threesomes. And she sounds almost mildly traumatized when she talks
Yeah.
about the fact that she doesn't want to do them anymore, which
Yeah.
is,
And he can't get it, Chris. He
I
does
know.
not get it, Chris. He is like, I don't understand. When you say you don't want to have a threesome, you mean that you don't want titties in your face? Wait,
How?
so when you yeah, how do you not want there to be another vagina in the same bed and me jumping from your vagina to their vagina and then
Mhm,
back
mhm.
to your vagina? Are you saying that you don't like vagina juice? And I don't understand how you were saying that to me because it is so magical that
Mhm.
even you should want it. He's so confused.
Well, let me just say this. I just had a conversation with a lesbian, and this my lesbian conversationalist was just telling me how great it is to go down on a woman. And she was like, listen, she was like, "Do you like the taste of cum? Man come to me." And I was like, "No, no." She's like, "No, it tastes like ammonia." I'm like, "Absolutely." She's like, "No, I never went down on a woman." She was like, "Women taste clean. It tastes clean," she kept saying to me. And I appreciate that. It's just that you know what it is?
You still
I
don't
get
want
that.
it.
You know what I don't like? I don't want to lick something already wet for some reason. I just like that's what like penises are bone dry until you make them like erupt a little bit. But like to do anything with a penis like a hand job, it's dry. That's why you have to have lube or use your spit. You know what I'm saying? It isn't like it's not sweating, like unless it's the ball sack out of Kyle. But like, like penises are usually dry when you're like going down on them. So at least, it's like I don't like a steak when it has like a sauce on top of it. Like I like to kind of like taste my meat. And sometimes there's too much like sauces or whatever, like it just feels like a bunch of slipperiness, you know what I'm saying? Anyway,
Yeah.
what a great
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
conversation.
I just don't want she doesn't wanna do it, and he so doesn't get it that he can't even imagine so they cannot be together
I think
because in his
also
mind
I think they had a threesome already. And I think that it was really great for him. So I think that's another thing that he's like, but didn't you love that? I feel like you came 7 times. And she's like, even if I pretended to come, I'm not into it anymore.
and she just doesn't get it. So that's awkward, but they did have good ravioli and he had the special. I love the fact that he was able to order for her. Like that's what I want to be. I want to be with somebody where I don't understand what the hell is going on around me and so I just get to turn off and let him take over.
The idea that I'm like that someone would care for me and knows what I like off a menu, and I can be very picky, and I like if a man that I was dating knows I don't like fish, and I obviously just had the conversation of what I did, and I wasn't talking about that, but I don't like to eat actual fish. Um, and knew and just was like, the lady will have the filet mignon charred on the outside, medium rare on the inside, and then was like, she'll have the sauteed greens. Is it macaroni and cheese? Is it with raclette? Is it a smelly cheese or is it a yummy cheese? And he was like, not raclette. He like, the lady will have that. And do you have like a fruit forward Napa cab or like even like a not so hey Bordeaux? And if that man ordered for me, I mean, I would for the rest of my life devote my entirety to him
Yeah,
because
it's
I'd be
just like
so someone sees me. Someone can
yeah.
take care of me.
Yeah, but
Someone can provide.
you know what's funny is the first
What?
like maybe 4 times that he said the word threesome, I heard treesons. So I thought that he was saying like a French way of saying threesome. Like I thought he not ménage à trois, but I thought he was saying like the Italian word for that. Because I was like, oh, I didn't know that treesons was how you say that in Italy? Treesons. And I was like, oh, tree son. Oh, threesomes. Oh, I thought this man was saying the son of a tree, you know? So, they choose to not talk about it at the moment because they're having such a good time, and so they leave the conversation for a later date.
In this conversation, she looks she's gonna cry. I feel so bad for her. I think that she is also divinely gorgeous. Like, I can't like, I think her face is like a God-given face. Like, I love her eyes. I mean, she's so beautiful and she's so sweet looking. Like, her beauty is sweet looking. She looks younger than she is. Like she has this I mean, she definitely has whatever quality of demureness that I've never known in my whole life, and definitely the quality that not to like take a bridge to another couple, the quality Sean wants Aaliyah to have so much, which is this kind of like shy, can't really talk around you. Like she is submissive, and I think that he is like into that. But she's also like I thought she's so naturally beautiful and lovely that I want the best for her. And I'm so happy that she, like has experienced life and stuff. And you can tell how attracted she is to him. She's like obsessed with him. So like, she's like, it's just fucking impossible to like do anything because he holds me and we kiss and I have no more wits about me. Okay. I don't have any more wits.
That's crazy. I don't, yeah. So let's move on to Sean and Aaliyah. Sean is a He-Man woman hater, okay? Sean tries to make us feel like he could do anything and he doesn't like labels because of the spectrum and of blah blah blah, but he keeps talking about how he already did that thing with that woman and it was for 14 goddamn fucking years and he doesn't want to have to do it again. So they get up in the morning and go and get immediately bebidas, which I love. So drinks out of a pineapple, which I'm like, how can I get one? I want to taste it so bad. And they start walking around. And he's like, oh, did you want to get me this drink so that I could like we could go shopping and I could buy you clothes? He is dragging his feet because he doesn't want to buy her clothes. He wants to buy her shorts and a t-shirt. Okay. He doesn't want to have this experience where he sees his partner very excited about something that they're wearing. He's annoyed. He is bothered. He's bedraggled. And he is pouting and complaining like a child about having to do this because he says if he were with the Douglas that he wants to be with, not the Aaliyah that she is now, that he would be better off because he wouldn't have to deal with all these girly things. Now, at first I was really mad at him because I just felt like his whole thing was like disrespectful and like whatnot. But then I said to myself, I have to kind of give him respect for his experience, but the way he goes about it is just so He-Man woman hater. Like, that's the part. It's like the way he talks about it is so bad. If he could just say like, yeah, no, I'm not into it. Actually, the truth is that I'm not into women anymore. I want to be with hot, young, buff men.
Mm-hmm.
And the quieter the better. The more scared and demure the better, because I don't want anyone yakety yak yak yakety 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 at me. I want to just take you on trips and have you as arm candy. And I'm falling in love with that because that is what I want in these latter years of my life.
Yeah. I mean, he in this way, he's almost like a boomer alpha incel kind of whatever, kind of that kind of just like really fucked up where women have to be it's like or men, but it's like he's so into like not liking labels and it's like, okay, well what let's be honest. You are absolutely 100% gay. There's not
Mhm.
one I mean, you're not you also don't want to eat pussy and you never have. Like I can't
Mhm.
imagine a world in what you did. And
Mhm.
if you did, you gritted your teeth the entire time.
The whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that's not you. So, like and again, like, I don't think that he should be putting or, like, trying to make Aaliyah feel bad for anything because Sean has lived his life and
Yeah.
Aaliyah is on the precipice. So,
Yep.
like, know your place, and your place isn't to be with this person. Your place is to find whatever demure house husband you wanna find.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. Aaliyah's hot as fuck. And your friends were probably so jealous
Mm.
of you.
Mhm,
But that
mhm,
is not what you have anymore.
mhm,
You have Aaliyah and who's happy, who talks more, who's more like I mean, the fact that you could see somebody opening up like a flower and blossoming and your
mhm,
first thing is like, "Oh, I don't like it."
mhm.
is is a sign that you need to get out of it because I don't feel sorry for you. I mean, I want to feel sorry for you because, it's not what you've been doing for the last year or year and a half. I don't know how long they've been talking because it's a breakup of sorts. It's like this is what the one thing I had and now I have to transition, but I don't want to transition with this person. That's valid. But like the words around it is just so demeaning and just rude that I can only imagine that if Aaliyah's watching this back, she's like, "Oh, so you didn't like me because I was furtive and timid and uncomfortable in my body in the worst headspace I've ever been in, but I'm in a better headspace." And you're like, ugh, I,
Can you go back to being miserable for me?
yeah,
Please go back to being miserable and not happy for me. I mean, listen, I'll be
hmm
alive for the next 4 years. So I know I'm being too mean to him, but I just don't like him. I think it's creepy, you know, and like, because if this was like a heterosexual cisgender couple and it was like a man and a woman would be as grossed out, you know, and if the woman was just going like, if the woman was like, you know what, I decided I want to be whatever, a singer, a performer, and we were watching this person on a journey where they were like finding who they really are, and this was the same conversation, you'd be like, fuck you, old man, get the fuck out of here, you know.
Yeah. Whew. All right, you guys. So that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what you were listening to and you want to see more, you can join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get exclusive content like the visuals of what you're listening to, as well as a live every first Monday of the month. But if you cannot do that, if you cannot go to patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month, we understand. Chris will tell you some ways that you can support us without the $10 a month at DocuSweeties, patreon.com/DocuSweeties.
$10
Chris?
a month. You can go to Instagram and type in at DocuSweeties and go ahead and follow and like all of our things. We're also on TikTok. We're also on Facebook, the DocuSweeties podcast Facebook group. And then we definitely need those reviews, babe. Obviously, I bring it up every episode. It's because it's true. You know, it's so funny to side notice because this is just if you don't podcast, just so you know, it's literally the only way to find out if people like listen to podcasts. Like that's how you do it. My dad came up to me and he was like, "Met this podcaster, yeah, big podcast, huge podcast." And I was like, "Oh, let me look up this podcast and like see what it is." This person had 4 reviews, and I was like, "Dad, you don't know." Anyway, having said that, any support you can give is appreciated, but we're obviously just excited that anyone would listen to us talk for this long. We love you, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, babes?
Bye.
Bye.